Guys, I'm just at the beach here, Wahin, and I was talking to an American guy in a wheelchair. He survived a bomb attack in a war, and now he's anti-war. He loves the Irish as much as we love the Americans. He's pro-Trump, so I'm going to have a couple of words with him. He has some great stuff to say. Have a listen. After losing both of his legs, he's in a wheelchair, and he still manages to travel around the world. What an inspiration, guys. Check this guy out.
I went to war in January 2005. 20 years, about 2 months.
20 years ago you went to war?
20 years ago.
That was my first. And what country was Iraq?
Iraq, we deployed January of early of 05. I was injured at the end of March 2005. I was driving to Baghdad, and we were headed there on a routine mission, and we were going to pick up the people going to the airport.
Okay.
When I was there, it was during the government, what they called the transition of the government. It was really rough time. There was a lot of obviously a lot of bombing, a lot of
Transition of the Iraq government?
Yes, we were supposedly transitioning in and then over to the Iraqis.
Okay.
So obviously a lot of that's taken for what it is. The reason that matters is because that's how the war was at its hottest point then.
Okay.
So whether we were at a base or on the road, we were getting shot at, bombed a lot. Pretty normal.
I was 15 years of age in the news. It was all over the Irish news. Saddam Hussein was it back then? Saddam Hussein.
That point they'd already called it Saddam. So I don't know after if they'd executed him yet that they had called him.
Okay.
But Bush and Cheney and the rest of the warmongers, they decided to lie our country into war.
So Bush educated you into thinking that the Iraqis and the Afghanistans were bad.
Yeah, I mean, you got to remember, back then there wasn't much social media, so you only get told what you see on the news.
And it's skills.
And then your intel agencies are telling you they have weapons of mass destruction and after 9/11. And so, look, I'm not bitter. I wouldn't change anything in my life. I am who I am because of what happened to me. So I want to get that real clear that I have I'm not sad. I'm not like, hey, feel sorry for me. I don't want any sympathy or pity or any of that.
But I understand. It's the same with the Irish, but we just want people to know.
To understand, correct. Yeah. There's a difference between explaining what happened and complaining about it. I'm not complaining about it. Yeah. I used to be I used to believe, and they took advantage of our patriotism. Right? We were wanting to go and stop terrorists, right? Your country was attacked. Okay. And so, just like as I explained to you earlier, it would be the same thing if someone had attacked your country. You lads would be up in arms ready to go fight, defend your homeland. Well, same thing. Well, they just took advantage of that, and they maimed and killed a whole generation of my comrades. You have a whole generation of what we call GWAT veterans, global war and terrorism veterans in the States, and I'm hoping that we can change our country's future. Every generation that goes to war, we want to be the last ones. We don't want to send our kids off to war.
And so community back home now.
Yes, veterans veterans. It's a very big. It's a fraternity. We have organizations. We get together. We're very tight knit. It's hard to explain, but if you're a veteran in the United States, especially a combat veteran, we're very tight knit. We get along. We do things together. We advocate for each other. There's all kinds of organizations. It's the best fraternity in my opinion to be in, regardless. You're never alone at the end of the day.
And with a lot of your comrades who are also in this community have injuries like yourself, or
yes.
they have like missing arms.
Yes, there are. There were thousands upon thousands that were injured. I forget the last death toll, but it was around 6,000-7,000 total. And then we've had so many that were injured, missing both legs. They're amputees that are like me, plus missing both arms. Yeah. It's life changing. There are people that have had traumatic brain injuries that their families have to take care of them the rest of their life. They can never an independent life again. These are when I'm saying all this to understand there are costs involved when you send your kids off to war. And that's something our politicians, whether it's in the States or even in Europe and everywhere else, they forget sometimes that there is a cost. It isn't free. So you send your children off to war, there is a cost. They're never going to come home the same, regardless of whether it's mental or physical injuries. Yeah. So if war can often be necessary. You defend your homeland. To this day, I would defend my homeland with what I have left, with no issue. Right? This is 3 days before the election, and I'm hoping that Trump gets back in office. I know that's going to piss off a lot of people. Frankly, I don't care. I've earned in my country. I've earned my right to speak my opinion.
In Ireland, it's the same. A lot of people have voted Trump.
You all are dealing with the same illegal immigration issues we are.
Yeah.
Your politicians are allowed them to overrun your country.
The Irish are fighting back in tremendous force at the moment because the Irish aren't going to be run over.
historically, you were a brave and patriotic people.
Yeah.
Will not be pushed around. I admire the hell out of that.
Yeah, that's pretty.
Sure.
Do you remember your first day of war when you had to go off the plane into Iraq? Yeah.
Yeah. So actually, it's a funny story. So there's when you're in a compound, a base, it's called a forward operating base. So back then we would have bombs coming in and coming out. Like so if a bomb came in, it would make a certain noise, an artillery shell, for example. But we would return fire. So it's a funny story. I was there. I hadn't been there a day, and all of a sudden I hear explosions go off. And like a scared kid, man, I jump into a bunker and I'm looking around. There's these other U.S. soldiers and Marines laughing at me. Long story short, you start to learn the difference between incoming rounds that hit your base and then outgoing. But when you're brand new, you're scared of your own damn shadow. So, but I always laugh at that. But you quickly learn, that's not we're all scared to go to war. I don't care who you are. Yeah. It's just a matter of how you channel it and how you deal with it. There's the only difference between a coward and a hero is what you do in the heat of battle.
Look, if you say one thing, you cannot be brave without being scared.
Correct, 100%. And if anyone ever tells you they weren't, they had no fear, they're lying to you. They're absolutely lying to you.
We also asked you a personal question.
Sure.
About your injury. Would you remember it actually happening, or would you just remember waking up in hospital? Or?
No, I remember right before it happened, and then I remember laying there on the ground briefly. I kept trying to sit up.
Okay.
Apparently I was very lucid.
Okay.
And then they called it. Luckily, they called in a helicopter, and it was there within about 8 minutes.
Okay.
That's one good thing. We had a heavy presence over there, so the base we were at, I was only about 15 miles from there. Or then we would have they would come in and
helicopters
come in. They rescued me, and then but I died twice.
And in charge back then, the president was Bush. Never really a trusted person. He was always really snaky and big arts open at the moment. He hasn't got really good for the people. It was always just lawyers telling the people what they want to hear and stuff like that. Whereas the lawyer at the moment, he's just called Micheál Martin, and he's just such a sneaky little Bush character. You understand what I'm going to say?
Yeah.
He's just really smirky. It's the furthest thing from a leader. You understand?
Yeah.
And that's what it is. How is life treating you now as an older man and 20 years after your injuries and so on?
Well, the injuries are piled up. I used to walk way more than I do now. I've been dealing with I wear prosthetics. I'm being a little lazy here. Thailand's also not very. I love Thailand, but it's not as handicap friendly as other countries, and that's okay.
Like a challenge.
I like the challenge, but it's not my place to tell anyone what to do. I'm a guest here, and I love it here. Yeah. But oftentimes it's a little bit harder to get around.
Okay.
But overall, look, I don't regret anything that's happened to me. If you change one thing about your life, you go back and change. Then that fork in the road where your life changed, you change everything that happened after. So even speaking to you here, we would never meet each other, right? Yeah. So every interaction that I've had since I got hurt would be completely different. So I wouldn't change anything, right? You just have to accept life for what it is, and move on and make the best of what you have, right? If you don't make the best of what you have, then you're gonna be miserable, right? You can be miserable with a full body, right? So it is what it is. It's a choice. It's hard that is to say seeking help when you have mental health problems, which I've done. You go get help, but it's a choice at the end of the day.
Shout out to everyone suffering with mental health as well.
Yes.
This man is an inspiration here to me. So hearing the story that he has to say is that they're giving me such a lift of life. Real happiness is going and finding who you are as a person and understand.
Find your purpose, right? We all have a purpose in life. It's up to you to find it. Yeah. If you wake up every day with a purpose and embrace that purpose, then you're going to live a pretty happy life. Yeah. But you have to have purpose. You have to have a reason for getting up every morning. You have to have a reason for living. And we all, especially as men, that's the way we're wired. We need that masculine energy. We need a purpose. We need a mission. Yeah. So find a mission, find a purpose, and tackle it. Whether it's training in Muay Thai, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, find a hobby, find something, find a camaraderie, find something you spend time with your boys, your lads, as you say. We call them boys, but with your lads, where you get together and do things. Yeah.
So it sounds like you built yourself a really strong mindset.
Yes.
Over the years.
Best I absolutely can.
Did you find that just happened all the time, or did you have to work on yourself?
I had to work on myself. It's not easy. I've had down days. I've had down times. I've battled depression like anybody else. I'm man enough to admit that. Yeah. But it's not about getting down. It's about picking your ass back up every time. Yeah. And not giving in to the demons. Because I feel like that if I give in, then all people that say you can't do something, or they win, and I'm not going to allow that.
William, my name is Martin, and it was really nice to meet you. I appreciate that, and I applaud everything you've been through and everything you're doing for everybody in the future.
We just bought a litre of kratom. If you don't know what kratom is, it's a leaf that grows over in Thailand, and it's illegal the last, I don't know, it's only legal the last few years, but it's been illegal for years because it's psychoactive effect of it, or whatever you want to say. So let's take a couple of slurps out and see what happens. It's supposed to be like a really, Google it, just please Google it after this. It's called kratom, and yeah, let's try it. Really earthy. Tune in later on and I'll let you know what the psychoactive effect is. We're going to go and meet the guy now in the wheelchair and see does he want to suck. So we exchanged contacts earlier on with the guy in the wheelchair. I want to meet him now at the bar, have a crack, see what he's into. I'm going to go and ask him if he want to do anything in particular, like on the back of a horse or a jet ski or something that he can't really manage that I can help him with. I'll ask him in a polite way that won't offend him either, so let's go and see if we can help him out. Big Willie's at the pulling aboard, lads. Good little night there with Willie, we're at the having. So I'm going to be back up with Willie tomorrow and bring him out and go and see the elephants or something and do something fun and adventurous with Willie. But they're having a great night tonight. Tomorrow we have a good adventure planned, so let's do something good. Make our Willie happy. Right, so that's the end of the night, lads. William's going to go his way and I'm going to go my way. William, it was good to meet you, pal.
Good to meet you, brother.
Great day today, bro.
Absolutely.
Absolutely great to meet you, pal, and have a fantastic night, and we'll see you tomorrow at some stage and we'll go and do an adventure.
We will get some sleep.
Hopefully we get to do some elephants and some stuff like that, or we'll do something anyway and we can help you out. Good to see you, bro. Appreciate that. Appreciate everything, bro. Boys, I can't even see that cameraman. Definitely wouldn't recommend that kratom. It's heavy. Unless I use the bleeding pills and Xanax and all stuff like that, I think it's kind of like. But it's not for me at all. All the frosties. That kratom is mental. It's worth a try. It was funny. So tired after it. I was going around with the war veteran and all bleeding waxed on him and mad shit happened. Didn't even get my camera out for most of it. That's the thing. You don't really be worried to get that camera out when you're on it. So will I try it again? We would try it again, but not missed out on a heap of opportunities. So I just googled up the effects of that kratom that I drank, and in small doses it's supposed to be uplifting and energetic. In larger doses it's supposed to be like an opioid effect, which makes you drowsy and sleepy. So I'll leave it up to your imagination to think how much I drank of that. I up early in the morning anyway to meet that war veteran. I keep calling him a war veteran. His name is William. Willie, I was calling him all night. Willie's actually a sound geezer with a lot of education. Hopefully we can get him out for a day of adventure and fun. We get him onto an elephant or a horse or something like that, or onto a jet ski, and we'll bleed and have to crack. Don't worry guys, I'll keep it well entertained. Thanks for all the love and support. Keep supporting, keep showing the love, keep commenting and subscribing and everything else.